Namaskar. Please tell us your name and roll number for this exam.
My name is Divya Das and my roll number is 403774.
Now, without mentioning your name and roll number, please give us a brief introduction.
I work in Uddala as additional Tahsildar. I have completed my 10th from Cambridge School Cuttack and my plus 2 from Revenue Junior College. And then I did my engineering from C.V. Raman College of Engineering in Electrical Engineering. Post that I had worked with Accenture as Assistant Software Engineer and with State Bank of India as Junior Associate. And currently I'm working in the capacity of additional Tahsildar in Uddala Tahsil. And for a brief period of time, I was also given additional charge of Notified Area Council Uddala as executive officer.
Okay. So, as I can see from your CIF, already you have qualified civil services and currently you are posted as additional Tahsildar. Okay. So, you give me some good reasons. Suppose you and one of your friends both are appearing the interview, and hypothetically consider that the interview board knows the marks of main and both of you are having the same marks. Okay, so your marks in interview will decide who will go through, who will you know uh, get through the interview, will be successful in the exam. So you are already in a uh, um, permanent government job, and after a few years directly also, you'll be promoted to OS. But your friend, she has been trying for last, let's say, 5 6 years. She's still unemployed, still trying to get in to the service or to get any form of employment. You give me three good reasons why we should select you. Okay, suppose your both of you have performed equally well in the interview as well, so it is just a matter of 1 or 2 marks. So you give 2 3 reasons why we should select you and not your friend if there is only one vacancy left.
Sir, the first reason is that the exam itself gives me an opportunity to participate. If that would have been the case, then the commission would have debarred the in-service candidates from not participating in the examination. Second would be, sir, I would say the fact that I have worked in ORS, I do have a basic knowledge of how the administration works. So I think I will be a better candidate than my counterpart or my friend in this regard. Uh, Thirdly, sir, as we know that of late the recruitment is regular in nature, and as such, Odisha Revenue Services cadre is getting saturated. So getting promotion in time will be a problem for me, as in the regular promotional aspect is within 3 years or maximum 4 years, Odisha Revenue Service officer gets promoted to OS. But in my case, I guess that may be delayed due to saturation of posts. So, given these circumstances, I feel that that is the reason why I'm appearing for this time in this civil services, and considering the fact that it has a huge number of administrative service posts, that is the reason I think I am a better match than my friend in this regard.
Okay. So in the first place, why? What was the reason that you were interested in civil services? Because you have got a good career, first class career, and you had
So,
done your BTech in electrical engineering. Okay,
so
so you could have gone to the technical line, or you could have continued in your first job as a software engineer. There the salary is also quite I think much more than what you would be expecting here, and also there is a chance that you have a chance of going abroad.
so
So you had experience of almost 3 years, almost 2 to 3 years. So suppose had you continued, this is 2024, the 10 years experience, mid-service, mid-level management, you would have gone, and your salary would have been substantially higher than currently what you are drawing or what you would get if you join OS. So in the first place, why were you interested in civil services? Give me some good reasons.
uh, so while working in Accenture, I realized that my service or my domain is getting limited to the organization that I'm working for. In that case, Accenture. So there I was looking for opportunities that would give me a platform where I could work on various sectors. So I was looking for opportunities. Then I zeroed on some options. First was RBI Grade B, and then my preparation culminated into civil services when I saw the various aspects of civil services, starting from its syllabus to the area of work. One as an administrator one gets. So I feel that was my biggest motivation to join civil services, because when I was working in Accenture, although I was in cyber security, but my domain of experience was only limited to that. But in case of civil services, currently working in Odisha Revenue Services, I also get an opportunity to work with public very closely. And at the end of the day, if I'm able to solve the problem of at least one citizen, I'm getting satisfied. So to sum it up, I would say overall, the idea of getting into civil services was not only the syllabus but also the aspect of serving the citizens, and probably getting that satisfaction at the end of the day, not monetarily, but also satisfaction that I'm able to help someone.
Okay, so hypothetical question. Now, suppose um, you are offered your job back in IT sector, and you are
So,
offered a position, okay, abroad, on-site position, let's say in a European country, or let's say Australia or
so
America. And there is a very good opportunity that once you go there, you have a chance of taking permanent residency and even citizenship of that country later.
so
Um, Suppose for US, you are getting a green card and you are getting citizenship of US. Okay, would you still consider staying here and continuing with civil service, or you would have anything?
uh, honestly speaking, sir, I'm a bit homesick in that regard. I think I love my state more than anything. Because of that, that was also one reason that I left my job in Bangalore and came back to Odisha to prepare for exams back in my home state. So I would still prefer staying in civil services than going for US or any other European countries. I can still go for a visit later, but I still prefer. I'm very happy with civil services as my profession.
So, for what length of time did you stay at Bangalore?
So I was till 2014. I joined November 2014, and I came back to Odisha in January 2017. So 2.5 years I stayed there. More than 2.5 years I stayed there.
Okay, so now there is many instances we are seeing that in several places they are impressing on people who are not from the state and who are staying in that particular state, any state. It has happened in Maharashtra earlier. Now we are seeing it is happening in Karnataka and some other places. That you have to know and communicate in the local language, whether you like it or not. What is
So
your point of view on this matter?
Uh, so I do respect regional language. I do respect their linguistic sensibilities, but I feel that if we're living in a metropolitan state or a metropolitan capital, we got to accept a cosmopolitan culture wherein people from all parts of the country come forward and work in a corporate setup or in an environment where everyone is accepting of each other's beliefs without hurting each other's sentiments. And hyper regionalism in my regard when it comes to language is not good, I would say. Of course, at the same point of time, me being an outsider also should understand the sentiments of for example, say in terms of in Bangalore, if I would have stayed, I would not have heard the sentiments of a local Karnataka resident, but at the same point of time, I would also expect that they understand and respect me as well, not me per se, but my culture as well. Because a city, specifically Bangalore, is a city where a lot of people come for jobs, and the growth of the city also is dependent on the IT sector. So if we start going on this narrow regionalism, then it will only affect the state, the economy of the state. I think there should be a middle path where both the person who's working in that state as well as the local residents, they understand, they don't fight with each other, they understand each other's sensibilities, language sensibilities, cultural sensibilities, and respect each other.
Okay. So your graduation subject was electrical engineering, but
So,
you have chosen sociology. Although
political
electrical
science.
engineering, political science, sorry,
Yes, sir.
political science is your option. Although electrical engineering was also available, right? So give me good reasons why you have chosen political science and not electrical engineering.
So, political science, international relations has good overlap with our GS syllabus. It will also help me in essay, and add to the fact that international relation is a dynamic part. So, it will help me in also preparing my current affairs. And thirdly, the most important reason is that plenty of sources material is available for political science as compared to electrical engineering. So it is also an interesting subject, and it has lot of semblance to what I'm going to do. For example, in civil services, it helps me to build up my base, know exactly how the system works. So that is the reason I took political science as my optional over electrical engineering.
Okay, so 10th you have done from Cambridge School, right?
So
Tell me something about the background of your school and from where it has derived the name and something about it.
So it is basically a missionary run school, school run by Association of Montfort Brothers, Montessori education. It I don't exactly know how it has got its name Cambridge, but I suppose it has maybe got inspired from the Cambridge University back in UK. Maybe that could be a reason. I don't know why it was named as such. But yes, it is a missionary run school, Christian school, and it is an association of Montfort Brothers, Montessori style of education.
Okay, then plus two you have done from Revancha Junior College. So now, what is your opinion regarding this controversy about renaming of Revancha University? And many names have been proposed. So first, what is your opinion? Do you agree that it should be renamed and give reasons for that? And second, if you agree that it should be renamed, then who would be the best person, uh, you know, on whose memory this university should be renamed and why?
Mm. So I think changing name at this point of time is not justified. I feel if we see the number of vacancies in terms of professors and lecturers is high, we should focus on that aspect first than going on the renaming part. I don't concur with the idea of renaming the Revencha, because Revencha University or Revencha Junior College has been uh, from 18th century. So, when it's almost a century, I would say that Revencha as an institution developed from being a collegiate, Revencha Collegiate School, and then to a junior college, then to university. So, so if in terms of that, I feel that Revencha as a name has been famous. It is a brand in itself. I don't feel the need to change the name. That is my personal opinion.
Okay. And your graduation from C.V. Raman College of Engineering, now I think it is a university. So tell
So,
us something about the contribution of C.V. Raman uh, to the world of science. and his particular inventions or why he's famous for?
He's famous for Raman electric effect, and he has got Nobel Prize for it. An invention, sir, I'm not sure. I'll brush up on that.
Yeah, application of the scattering principle of
Scattering of
scattering,
light.
so that you can just go through that, right?
So,
And some pra- practical implementation of that also. Okay,
so
right. So you mentioned that when you were working in Accenture, you were in cyber security domain. So
yes,
tell me something about current importance of cyber security, especially in today's digital world, especially from government point of view, since you're now working with the government and you would like to, join this administrative service and all. So the importance of cyber security for our public uh, digital infrastructure, so that we don't face mass attacks on our critical infrastructure systems, etc.
yes. Cybersecurity is one such area which needs more focus and more research, not just in terms of in private infrastructure. For example, corporate companies, they do invest a lot of R&D in cybersecurity, but I believe not much is done in this regard when it comes to public institutions. And it's important also to invest in cybersecurity because digital penetration has gone beyond our expectation. Everyone with a mobile and a internet connection is connected to the digital world. In this scenario, the importance of cybersecurity becomes important. So in that regard, I feel government should invest more in the R&D, and as well as employ subject matter experts who know cybersecurity in and out, and also create awareness among the general public, because we deal with a lot of critical data. For example, in my regard, I deal with a lot of information related to uh, land related details of but of citizens. So in in that regard, and most of that system and services are also available online. So employing best practices, as in when I'm connecting to my work as in if I am connecting to my work domain, I will use a VPN. Small practices where I would educate my DO not to share passwords, my data entry operator, or myself, I would not share my passwords. Simple steps. And also I would ensure that the systems that we have in our office setup is free of viruses. Timely monitoring of uh, data, timely monitoring of seeing that whether antivirus has been installed or not, and also ensuring that employees adhere to basic information security guidelines.
Okay. Um, so currently, what is your work profile? What are the responsibilities that are given to you?
So currently, I am working in the capacity of additional Tahsildar, and as an additional Tahsildar, I am given the responsibility of OIC record room, officer in charge record room, and I have also been allotted two RI circles, wherein the revenue related work related to those two RI circles are done by me, starting from issuing, starting from partition cases to conversion cases, or any sort of revenue work related to that. Those two RI circles are done by me. We have total four RI circles. Two RI circles are handled by the Tahsildar, and two rest two is allotted to me. And additional to that, I am also OIC record room, and also public information officer when it comes to RTI.
Okay. So, what are the in your training? What are the statutes that you have studied? Since you have mentioned about partition of property, So I think
So,
you would have studied about Hindu Succession and Indian Succession Act, at least the basics of that related to partition and all.
uh, Hindu Succession Act and Indian Succession Act, basically, we studied it during the miscellaneous certificate while providing certificate to the citizens. In terms of partition, sir, we are governed by the OLR rules, Odisha Land Reforms Manual and Guidelines, and we have OLR 191C, which governs the partition. And in this case, for mutual partition, the property has to be recorded in the name of recorded tenants. The tenants who are interested for partition should have their name in the ROR, record of rights, in the patta itself. And then what we do is that there should be a mutual agreement among the co-sharers that they want to mutually partition the land, and then they come to our office for partition. We follow the procedure, and then as per the rules and guidelines, allow the partition based on RI report and local inquiry.
Okay, what are the major problems in the current record room management system which our government is following? And since you are from information technology background, or at least you have worked in the IT industry, how can we use information technology or ICT, or how are we using ICT currently to streamline the workflow process, especially in case of record room operations?
So we have OS1 in place, which is the uh, which is for our Odisha State Wide Area Network, through which we use our LRMS system, Land Revenue Management System. uh, Basically, record room works under that. So the problem with record room is that since we handle a lot of data, it is also important that we build infrastructure. In terms of infrastructure, I think government needs to invest more when it comes to investing in a good, at least have a good computer, good CPU. These are basic requirements that I have seen even in the remotest of tahsil do face the issue of poor connectivity, as basic as poor connectivity issue. So these all basic things, if they are met, and also I feel uh, if the OS1, that is the wide area network that Odisha government uses, the speed is little faster, then we can deliver services at a much faster rate as compared to now what we are doing. But I think government has done very good in that regard, but there's a long way to go. At least first would be for me building on the infrastructure. Second would be the network system that needs to be more uh, I would say accurate and more accessible in remote areas, because there are many tahsils which face the issue of connectivity problems. So that is one thing that needs to be taken care of. And thirdly, what I feel is reskilling of the clerical cadre. Especially, there are some clerical officers who are not well versed with the use of technology. So at least having some sessions wherein we will skill them about the use of technology, how to use technology effectively, so that they can serve people and also help us in expanding our digital infrastructure. So these three should be the main focus of the government when it comes to implementation of ICT in record room services.
Okay. Do you think that use of artificial intelligence, is going to create a big problem, a big disruption in the employment generation capabilities, or it will take away a lot of jobs? It will increase efficiency, but a lot of jobs will be lost. So, what is your view about artificial intelligence and use of artificial intelligence in almost each and every domain that we are seeing?
Sir, I will take an example. The other day, I was writing an application. I thought of using artificial intelligence for once, and I used Chat GPT to write an application. And after the end of it, I went through that application to see, and I found a lot of errors. So I would say that at the end of the day, we still require human intervention. And I would not say that artificial intelligence would take away jobs. Of course, IT industry is very dynamic in nature. So it is important that if a new technology comes to the fore, our employees or the employees who are interested need to reskill themselves in terms of new technology that is in the market. So i so artificial intelligence would not take up jobs. Rather, if one is interested and one is very dynamic in nature, and one wants to actually learn about artificial intelligence, then one can do that, and also can earn handsomely in IT industry. And secondly, in terms of use of artificial intelligence in administration, we can use in various aspects, like how, like in Bootleg, sir, you said about the use of artificial intelligence, because there's a lot of data that is handled, and in the background, artificial intelligence can help us segregate that data. And also, but at the end of the day, the control should be with a human, because everyone has to access those data, and access should be only given to those who are authorized to access that data. For example, in case of like a confidential information that can only be accessed by Tahsildar. So a lot of data that needs to be segregated will be done in the back end by artificial intelligence, but access will be at the end with the Tahsildar itself. So here we have the usefulness of artificial intelligence, and secondly, the authority is also vested. Authority or correct authority has the access. That encapsulates the idea of information security, or the idea of IT's confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, CIA triad.
Okay, fine. So, what was your work profile at SBI?
So I was working as junior associate. It's a clerical cadre job.
Mhm. Okay. So, recently there has been some concern regarding the interaction of civil servants, police officers, etc., public servants, the interface between the public servants and the public.
So,
Suppose you are the head of your office and you have to take some steps to ensure that the interaction of public with your officials, with your colleagues, with your subordinates is pleasant. Okay. So, what steps will you take to ensure that this happens?
sir, I being in a public interaction job, it is very important for me to maintain my cool as well, because interacting with public at times, and also uh, working hard uh, does add a lot of mental stress. I, in this regard, would counsel all my staffs to be courteous with the public, and hear them out. I think at least if we give them a patient hearing, half of their problems will be solved. They will at least have an assurance that the concerned official is hearing our matter. So more than anything, it's very important to give the public a patient hearing. So I would timely assess my staff, and instruct them to be friendly, not friendly, but to have uh, mm, to have good conversation with public, give them a patient hearing, and if they can solve their problems at their level, they should try that, or else they can consult the higher officer in this regard. And also, I would work on their mental health as well, because I have also realized that working in a public facing environment, where day in and day out we're interacting with public, it does take a toll on us. It's very important to maintain our calm, and either we can take resort of say yoga or meditation to calm our nerves in that regard, and also understand the problem of the person who's coming from far away to get his or her problem solved. So I would do that.
Okay. So your optional is political science and international relations. So among the various theories of justice that you have studied, can you tell me which one you like the most, in the sense that you think that it is most relevant to the contemporary society?
I think a Wheel of Ignorance by John Rawls, when where he talks about the wheel, where I myself would not know the position that I am in, yet I will work or devise policy for the lowest rung, for the least disadvantaged, for the least advantaged section of the society. So the Wheel of Ignorance by John Rawls interests me and is very relevant in today's society, where I would not know the position that I'll be in, yet I will be mm, yet I will be giving an impartial view of the world or the industry, or any sector that I'll be working on. So John Rawls' theory of justice is relevant in today's regard.
As a student of international relations, if you're asked to solve the problem, the conflict between Ukraine and Russia, so you tell me what are the basic reasons for this conflict, and if you are asked to, you know, you are given all the authority, power, and all, everything, and you are asked to solve this conflict. So, what steps will you take?
Say Ukraine and Russia is more of a fight between not just Russia and Ukraine, but there are also forces that are backing Ukraine, as well as Russia on the other side. Ukraine wants to be a part of NATO, which is backed by the America, and America is a nemesis of USSR, or presently Russia. So Ukraine Russia conflict has its background. Uh, Background from that sense, if I can say, Ukraine, USSR or Russia wants to annex Ukraine, but on the other hand, Ukraine, being a part of wants to be a part of the NATO, and hence is is backed by America. So in that regard, it's very important to maintain global peace. And if I am given an opportunity, I would uh, want to maintain the status quo, and not hurt civilians, because a lot of people are getting killed, and there's a lot of instability that is happening in the world. And with now with the latest Israel Lebanon issue also, there's a lot of instability, lot of killing that is happening, which is affecting global peace. And Ukraine and Russia also, they are very sensitive regions for energy security, so they would also pose risk to our energy security needs. Prices may go up in that regard. So it is very important that everyone brought into confidence, and every country is brought to a middle ground. um, I would say that uh, the paramount thing is maintaining world peace and security.
Okay, that is fine. So, currently, what do you think? What India is doing and should do to balance the power in Indian Ocean region with China? What are the steps that we are taking, and what are the steps that we need to take?
um, if we see India's maritime security policy, it is based on the concept of sagar. which means security and growth of all in that region. So India is acting as a net security provider in the Indian Ocean region, and add to that, now with the support of USA, uh, the the theater of Indian Ocean is not only limited to Indian Ocean region; it is now also called as Indo-Pacific. The term has been made popular, Indo-Pacific, which involves the area of Indian Ocean and Pacific Ocean as well, which controls almost 60% of world trade. So India's maritime security has been about providing security to the states or the countries adjoining the Indian Ocean region. Secondly, following rule based order, while uh, contrary to what China does, uh, India India also wants to invest more on. India is also investing more on its ports as well to counter the China's string of pearls narrative and debt trap diplomacy. So, in that regard, India's maritime policy has been very benevolent and also acting as a net security provider for littoral states across the region of Indian Ocean.
Okay, fine. So you have mentioned your hobby as cooking Odia cuisine. Suppose you are in charge of disaster management, okay, in your district or in your block, and suddenly what happens? You have gone along with your team for some disaster management work, and there is some natural calamity again, maybe some landslide or something, which has cut off your team from all others, okay, all other parts of the state, and even for rescue to come in, it will take 2 to 3 days. So you have to survive for 2 to 3 days. You had brought some relief material which you intended to give the people, but now, okay, those basic thing is there with you. You have some, rice to cook. Okay, then you have some basic vegetables, potatoes, okay, and your onions, right, and some other basic dry food kind of thing.
So,
With your knowledge of Odia cuisine, how are you going to, or what food will you make for your team? Let's say your team is of like 7 to 8 people. Okay. So that you can survive for 2 to 3 days with the ration which you have till your rescue team arrives.
sir, the basic food will be uh, bhato dali, aloo chotuni, which is like I can cook rice for them, dal, eh, and aloo chutney, which is like mashed potatoes with some onion and chilies and mustard oil. Or else I can also prepare khichdi if I have taken dal and some bare minimum vegetables. Uh, that can also be done. And thirdly, if I would have taken flattened rice, chuda gudo is commonly given in disaster time, so that can be used in breakfast. And I am since I am posted in Moribund's region, here puffed rice mudi is commonly available, so mudi can also be used as a breakfast option. And then if for cooking per se, lunch or dinner, we can resort to simple rice, dal, uh, aloo chokha, or khichdi, or aloo bhaja will do. These are the basic things that, with basic ingredients that I can manage in disaster time.
Okay. Um, this cooking as a general hobby, what are the values, or let's say what are the virtues that or qualities which you have learned from cooking, which you are implementing in your career as a civil servant?
So, to be honest, cooking is very therapeutic in nature. And after marriage, now that me and my husband are posted in the same subdivision, we do get an opportunity to cook. So, So whenever I come back home from a tiring day at work, I cook. And then my husband is there, so I feed him, and he, after eating food, he praises me, and that gives me even more satisfaction. The fact that I'm able to cook and I'm feeding someone, and most importantly, after a tiring day at work, I find cooking to be more therapeutic in nature. So cooking in that sense gives me a lot of happiness, brings me a lot of happiness. And I obviously watch a lot of videos and reels, so I try to cook uh, some of those. If something interests me, every week I try to cook new dishes, especially Odia cuisine, because I'm very interested uh, in my state food. uh, so I can quote an example. Recently, my grandmother used to make this chitto pitha, which is very during Chittalagi Amavasya, we used to cook that. So that is a little tricky dish to prepare. But then this time I made it well, and I was praised by my parents as well as my husband that I could make chitto pitha almost as similar to the taste of my grandmother. So that gave me happiness. So every now and then, if I cook, it brings me a lot of happiness and joy. So that is the reason, sir, I cook.
Okay, fine. So, my last question to you would be a situational question. Suppose you are the head of your office, and one of your subordinates has come with a complaint of sexual abuse at workplace. So, first tell me what are the different statutes and laws and the uh, system in place to check such a thing. And second, uh, what steps will you take considering the fact that the person he's or she is alleging, has harassed her is the brother of one of your best friends. Okay, so in that case, how are you going to balance your personal relationship and your professional duty? So, two parts are there. First is the statutory part, and the second is what are you going to do in such a situation?
Sir, there is the provision of internal complaints committee, which is basically derived from the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Act 2013. In that regard, an internal complaint committee has to be set up in offices employing more than 10 employees. And the head of that committee should be a woman, and the members of that committee should meet at least quarterly to understand, to see for any cases of harassment, or if any such cases of sexual harassment has been observed at the workplace, uh, so that a machinery is set up. uh, the aggrieved can come and complain about sexual harassment. Then there is she box as well, where the complainant can also give complaint regarding sexual harassment at workplace. Second question is, sir, how would I deal with that interpersonal relations? First, I would listen, give a patient hearing to the aggrieved, and then I will forward it to the internal complaints committee, and if possible, also will talk with the person who has been accused of, and will also counsel that person that there are provisions, there are acts and rules, and if and this is a workplace. If these kind of behavior is repeated, then he or she may lose his or her job. And also at the same point of time, uh, mm, provide equal opportunity to the aggrieved, and give her a patient hearing, and also forward her to the concerned department or police. Help her in that regard, I would say.
Okay, fine. So that will be the end of the interview. Now let us come to the feedback. So more or less ଆପଣଙ୍କର quality of answers ପୁରା ଠିକ ଅଛି ଆଉ
sir.
ଆପଣ जो questions गुड़ा opinion based enumerate କରିକି answer ଦଉଛନ୍ତି okay ଆଉ ଆଉ କଣ improve ଆପଣ କରିପାରିବେ କି you directly come to ସେମାନେ ଯାହା ବି ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି question ରେ ସେଇଟା first clear କରିଦେଲା ପରେ then you can go for rationalizing it or explaining it ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ
Sir.
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା ଯେହେତୁ ଏଇଟା ଫିଜିକାଲ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ନୁହଁ ତେଣୁ ମୁଁ ଆଇ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ଟା 100% ସେଟା ଇଏ କରିପାରିଲିନି ସେଇଟା
Hmm.
ଟିକେ ଖାଲି ମାଇଣ୍ଡ ରେ ରଖିବେ ଫିଜିକାଲ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ରେ କି ଲାଇନ୍ ଅଫ ସାଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଦ ଆଇଜ ଅଫ ଦ କୋଡ ଓକେ ଯିଏ ପଚାରିଲା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ତାଙ୍କୁ 90% ଟାଇମ ଦେଖିବେ ଆଉ ବାକି ଯୋଉମାନେ ଦି ଜଣ କି ତିନି ଜଣ ବାକି ଯିଏ ବସିଥିବେ ତାଙ୍କୁ ମଝିରେ ମଝିରେ ଖାଲି ଆଇ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ଆପଣ ଇଏ କରିଦେବେ ଓକେ ରେଷ୍ଟ କଣ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ୱାଇଜ କଣ୍ଟେଣ୍ଟ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଆନ୍ସର ର ସବୁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଭଲ ଅଛି ଆଉ ୟୁ ହାଭ ଦ ବେସିକ ସ୍ମାଇଲ ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ରହୁଛି ସୋ ସେଟା ବି ବହୁତ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିବ ତ ଯଦି ମାର୍କ ମତେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦବାର ଅଛି ଦେନ୍ ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ଗେଟ୍ ଆରାଉଣ୍ଡ 170 ଫର ଟୁଡେଜ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ତାକୁ ଆହୁରି ଆପଣ ଟ୍ରାଏ କରନ୍ତୁ ଆହୁରି ଯେମିତି ଅଧିକ ଆପଣ ରଖିପାରିବେ ଓକେ ସୋ ରେଷ୍ଟ ଅଦର ଥିଙ୍ଗସ ଆର୍ ଫାଇନ୍ ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ଇଶ୍ୟୁଜ ନାହିଁ ଆପଣଙ୍କର କୋଉ ଦିନ ଅଛି ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ
Sir, one ରେ ଅଛି ମୋର interview.
ୱାନ୍ ରେ
One.
ଅଛି ତାହେଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ତ ଅବଭିୟସଲି ଯାହା ଆମେ ଡିସ୍କସ କରିଥିଲୁ ପ୍ରଥମରେ କି ମ୍ୟାକ୍ସିମମ୍ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ସ ୱିଲ୍ ବି ଅନ୍ ୟୋର ଜବ୍ ପ୍ରୋଫାଇଲ ଆଉ ତ ସେ ସବୁ ରିଲେଟେଡ ତାର ଇଭେନ୍ ଟେକ୍ନିକାଲିଟିଜ ଆଣ୍ଡ ସେଗୁଡା ବି ଦେଖିଥିବେ ଆଉ
Sir.
ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା 1 ତାରିଖ ହଉଛି ମାନେ ତ ଅକ୍ଟୋବର 1 ଆଉ
Sir.
ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ ଦିନ ପରେ ଅକ୍ଟୋବର 2 which is
Gandhi
very
Jayantī.
important and ସେପ୍ଟେମ୍ବର ଓକେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର 30th ତ ସେ
Sir.
ସେ ସବୁ ଏଇ ତିନିଟା ଦିନ କଣ ପାଇଁ ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାଣ୍ଟ ଇଣ୍ଟରନ୍ୟାସନାଲ ଡେ ଅଫ ହ୍ୱାଟ ନ୍ୟାସନାଲ
Hmm.
ଡେ ଅଫ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଆଉ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ଓଡିଶା ପାଇଁ ବି ଯଦି କିଛି ସେମିତି ଥିବ ତ
Sir.
ସେଇଟା ଟିକେ ଭଲରେ ଦେଖି ଦେଇକି ଯିବେ ଓକେ
Sir.
ଆଣ୍ଡ ଯାହା ବି ଏବେ ସବୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଭର୍ସିଜ ଅଛି ରିଲେଟେଡ ଟୁ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଏସ୍ପେଶାଲି ଷ୍ଟେଟ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ତ ସେଇ
Hmm.
କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ସ ଗୁଡା ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବେଶୀ ପଚାରିବାର ସମ୍ଭାବନା ଅଛି ଓକେ ଆପଣ କରପସନ କେମିତି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରିବେ କଣ ସେଗୁଡା ଭଲରେ ପ୍ରିପେୟାର କରିକି ଯିବେ ସୋ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଆପଣ ଗୋଟେ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଆନ୍ସର ଦେଇପାରିବେ ମାନେ କିଛି ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ହି ଡ୍ରାମାଟିକ ନ କହିକି ପ୍ଲସ୍ ବହୁତ ହି ମିକ୍ ନ ହେଇକି ଗୋଟେ ପୁରା ବାଲାନ୍ସଡ ଆନ୍ସର ସେ ଯୋଉ କରପସନ ଗଲା ତାପରେ ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ କହିଲୁ କି ଏବେ ଦ ଇଣ୍ଟରାକ୍ସନ ବିଟୱିନ୍ ପବ୍ଲିକ ଆଣ୍ଡ ଦ ପବ୍ଲିକ ଅଫିସିଆଲ୍ସ ସେଇଟା ହେଲା ଗୋଟେ ରହିପାରିବ ତାପରେ ଆ ଭିତରେ ଯଦି କିଛି ଇମର୍ଜିଂ ଜିନିଷ କିଛି ହେଲା ହଁ ସୋ ସେଗୁଡା ବି ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ଦେଖିବାର ଅଛି ଓକେ ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ବହୁତ ସିନ୍ସ ଆପଣ ଅଲରେଡି ସିଷ୍ଟମର ଗୋଟେ ପାର୍ଟ ତେଣୁ ଆପଣଙ୍କଠୁ ଆନ୍ସର ଟା ଟିକେ ଭଲ ଆଉ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଏକ୍ସପେକ୍ଟ କରାହବ କି ସିଷ୍ଟମ କଣ କରିପାରିବ କଣ କରୁଛି ଆଉ କଣ କରିବା ଉଚିତ ୟୁ ହାଭ୍ ଟୁ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ଅଲ୍ ଦ ଥ୍ରୀ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟସ ହଁ ତ ତାକୁ ଆଉ ଯାହା ବି ଆପଣ କହିବେ ଯୋଉଟା କି ସେ ରେଭେନ୍ସା କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ରେ ବି ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ କ୍ୱାଇଟ୍ ଅବଭିୟସ୍ ଆପଣ ଇମୋସନାଲ ସାଇଡ୍ ଟା ନେଲେନି ସେଇଟା ସବୁ ଆନ୍ସର ରେ ଆପଣ ମେଣ୍ଟେନ କରିବେ ଓକେ ତ ମତେ ଖାଲି ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଆଇ କଣ୍ଟାକ୍ଟ ସେଇଟା ମୁଁ ଗଜ୍ କରିପାରିଲିନି ଯେହେତୁ
Sir.
କ୍ୟାମେରା ରହୁଛି ହଁ ସେଇଟା ଖାଲି ଟେକ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଅଦରୱାଇଜ ଏଭରିଥିଙ୍ଗ ଏଲ୍ସ ଇଜ ଫାଇନ୍ ଆପଣଙ୍କର ସ୍ମାଇଲ ଆଣ୍ଡ ୟୁ ନୋ ସେ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡା ସବୁ ଠିକ ଅଛି ଓକେ
Sir, sir, ଗୋଟେ doubt ଥିଲା ମୁଁ
ହଁ
sir
କୁହନ୍ତୁ
କେବେ time ରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ମାନେ I'm not criticizing government but government system ରେ ବି sir କିଛି କିଛି ମାନେ loopholes ରହୁଛି କି lacunas ରହୁଛି ଯେମିତି ଆମର ସେ remote ତହସିଲ ରେ internet connectivity ହଉ ବା ଯଦି ବି କିଛି ଏମିତି clerical cadre ରେ ସେମାନଙ୍କର ସେତିକି skill କି talent ନାହିଁ to use IT applications ତ ସେଇ ସବୁ ଯଦି sir ମୁଁ directly କହିଲେ କିଛି problem ହବ କି?
ଡାଇରେକ୍ଟଲି ନାଇଁ ଆପଣ ଠିକରେ କହିଲେ ରିସ୍କିଲିଂ ସେଟା ତ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ନିଜେ ମାନୁଛି ତାର ଯେତେ ରିପୋର୍ଟ ସବୁ ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟର ସେମାନେ
Sir.
କହୁଛନ୍ତି ରିସ୍କିଲ କରିବାର ଅଛି ଏସ୍ପେଶାଲି ଡିଜିଟାଲ ଡିଭାଇଡ ଟା କମେଇବେ
Hmm.
ଏସ୍ପେଶାଲି ଯୋଉମାନେ ଟିକେ ସିନିୟର ଲେଭେଲର ଅଫିସର୍ସ କିମ୍ବା ଇଭେନ୍ ସବଅର୍ଡିନେଟ୍ସ ବି ହେଇଗଲେଣି ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ବି ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ବିକମିଂ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଫର ଦେମ୍ ଟୁ ହ୍ୟାଣ୍ଡଲ ଦିସ୍ ୟୁ ନୋ ଟେକ୍ନୋଲୋଜି ଥିଙ୍ଗସ ତ ସେଇଟା ଆପଣ ବହୁତ ହି ନୁଆନ୍ସଡ ୱେରେ କହିଛନ୍ତି
Sir.
ଆମକୁ କନଷ୍ଟ୍ରକ୍ଟିଭ କ୍ରିଟିସିଜମ କରିପାରିବା ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା ଆମେ ଏହା କହିବାନି କି ଏଇଟା ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ କରିନି କି ଖରାପ କରିଛି आमको सेम जिनसटा एमती कहबार अछि कि गवर्नमेंट एया करिसेंती आउ एया कले आउरी बेटर हे परिबो सेम थिंग टाको डिप्लोमेटिकली हमको प्रेजेंट करिवार अछि कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म निहाती दरकार एंड वी कैन नॉट एक्सपेक्ट yes sir or yes minister कहते ना yes minister answers सेटा से माने भी एक्सपेक्ट करथि कोनटा रिफॉर्म हबो कोनटा चेंज हबो जेहेतु आपण सिस्टम भितर अछंती आपण बेटर कहि परिबे किंतु सेटा टिके नुआंस्ड वे रे विदाउट एनी माने कोन विट्रियोलिक क्रिटिसिज्म ना सेगुडा
sir.
को छाड़ी देखि बैलेंस क्रिटिसिज्म constructive criticism is always acceptable.
Sure.
In fact, that is what they look for. Okay.
Sir, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ personal କଥା ଥିଲା କି I am also expecting ମାନେ ପ୍ରେଗନେଣ୍ଟ ଅଛି sir କିଛି ଇସ୍ୟୁ ହବନି ତ ଇଣ୍ଟରଭ୍ୟୁ ରେ ମାନେ ପଚାରି ପାରିବେ କି sir because
ନା ନା ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ନାହିଁ ମାନେ ସେମାନେ ସେ ପର୍ସନାଲ ଇଏ ମାନେ କଣ ଇଏ ହବ ଆପଣ ତ ଏବେ ସର୍ଭିସ ରେ ଅଛନ୍ତି already statute ଆପଣଙ୍କ maternity benefits are very well defined ହଁ ତେଣୁ ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ନାହିଁ ମାନେ you are କଣ like
then I'm little apprehensive
suspecting for a
about
bias
ନାଇଁ ନାଇଁ sir କିଛି
ଗୋଟେ
bias କଥା ନାହିଁ but I'm like ମାନେ ମାନେ it is evident ଜଣେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଜାଣିପାରିବ କି I'm pregnant ମାନେ ମୋ attire ଯେତେ ସେଠି ପିନ୍ଧିବି କି ଶାଢୀ କି କଣ ତ ମୁଁ ସେଇଟା ଟିକେ ଡାଉଟ ରେ ଅଛି ସେ ବୋଧେ maternity leave ଉପରେ କି କଣ ଏସବୁ ଉପରେ ବୋଧେ ପଚାରିବେ ନା
ଆପଣ
କଣ
maternity leave ର ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଯୋଉ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ହେଇଥିଲା not
sir
only maternity leave paternity
sir
leave ପାଇଁ ବି ସେ ଜିନିଷ ଗୁଡା ଆପଣ ଦେଖିଦେଇଥିବେ ଠିକ ଅଛି
sir
ତ ଆମ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ର and you can compare it with ଯେତେବେଳେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ ଟାଇମ ଯେତେବେଳେ maternity benefits ରେ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ହେଇଥିଲା so now
sir
it is even better than European standards
sir
ଠିକ ଅଛି ତ ଏବେ କେତେ 2 years ବୋଧେ ଆପଣଙ୍କର extended period ରେ ସେଟା ରହୁଛି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ଯୋଉଟା ତାର ବ୍ୟବସ୍ଥା କରୁଛନ୍ତି in various ways
sir
ତାପରେ then there are other paternity benefits ବି ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଦେଇଛନ୍ତି
sir
and ଆଗରୁ ଯୋଉଟା କୁହାଉଥିଲା କି ଆମର ଏଇଟା ଏତେ ମାନେ strong ନୁହଁ so now it has even surpassed the European standard ୟୁରୋପରେ ଫ୍ରାନ୍ସ ଜର୍ମାନୀରେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯାହା ସେମାନେ ଆଗରୁ ଦଉଥିଲେ ସେଟା କି ହେଲା paid we are talking about paid maternity leave okay
sir
ତ ତାକୁ ଦେଖିକି even corporate sector has come up ସେଥିରେ ତ
sir
ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ଯଦି ପଚାରୁଛନ୍ତି ଆଉ କଣ କଣ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ସେଥିରେ ହେଇପାରିବ
sir
positive and like don't you think it is a concern especially private sector କି କଣ ତ ସେଇଟା ଆପଣ ଭାବିକି ରଖନ୍ତୁ ଓକେ ଆଉ ସେଇଟା ଆରାମରେ ବଟ୍ ସେଥିରେ ବାୟସ କି ଇଏର କିଛି ସେଥିରେ ଇଏ ନାହିଁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଆସିବ କି ଆପଣ ବ୍ୟାଲେନ୍ସ କେମିତି କରିବେ ଯେହେତୁ ଆପଣ
work
ଆପଣ
life
ଏବେ
balance
ହଁ ୱାର୍କ ଲାଇଫ ବାଲାନ୍ସ ପ୍ଲସ୍ ଯେହେତୁ ପିଲାର ପ୍ରଥମ କିଛି ଇୟର୍ସ ଯାହା ବି ହେଲେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ବେଶୀ ଟାଇମ ଦେବା ପାଇଁ ପଡିବ ଇଭେନ ଆଫ୍ଟର ଦ ମ୍ୟାଟରନିଟି ଲିଭ୍ ଇୟର୍ସ ଓକେ ଏମିତି ତ ନାହିଁ କି 2 years କି 3 years ପିଲାଟାକୁ ବି ବହୁତ ଆଟଲିଷ୍ଟ 7-8 years ନିଜ କଥା ବୁଝିପାରିଲା ଭଳିଆ ସେତିକି ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ ତ ତାକୁ ଯାହା ବି ହେଲେ ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ ରହିବ ଆକ୍ଟିଭ ରିକ୍ୱାରମେଣ୍ଟ ଅଫ ମଦର ତ ସେଇ କେସରେ ଆପଣ କଣ କରିବେ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ୟୁ ଥିଙ୍କ ଇଟ୍ ୱିଲ୍ କମ୍ପ୍ରୋମାଇଜ ୟୋର କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ଅଫ ୱାର୍କ ସେଇଟା ପ୍ରପରଲି ଆପଣ କହିବାର ଅଛି ସେଇଠି ଆପଣ ୟୁ ବ୍ରିଙ୍ଗ ଇନ୍ ଥିଙ୍ଗସ ଲାଇକ ଜଏଣ୍ଟ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି ନଟ୍ ଜଏଣ୍ଟ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲି କି ଆପଣଙ୍କର ଇମିଡିଏଟ ଫ୍ୟାମିଲିରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ପ୍ୟାରେଣ୍ଟସ ହେଲେ କି ଇନ୍ ଲଜ ହେଲେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ଆପଣଙ୍କୁ ହେଲ୍ପ କରିବେ ତ ସେଇଟା ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ହି ନୁଆନ୍ସଡ ଆଉ ବାଲାନ୍ସଡ ଆନ୍ସର ଦବାର ଅଛି ଓକେ
sir recently election ରେ ବି ମୁଁ ଡ୍ୟୁଟି କରିଥିଲି ସେଇଠି ବି ଆମର କିଛି ଲେଡି ଅଫିସର୍ସ ବିଡିଓ ତହସିଲଦାର ସେମାନେ ବି ସାର୍ ମାନେ ଛୋଟ ପିଲା ଥିଲା ତାଙ୍କର ସେମାନେ ବି ରାତି ରାତି କାମ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ତ ମୁଁ ତାଙ୍କ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ବି କୋଟ କରିପାରିବି କି ଡିସ୍ପାଇଟ୍ ତାଙ୍କର ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆ ଥାଇକି ସେ ଅଫିସ କାମ ବି କରିଥିଲେ ପ୍ଲସ୍ ଘରକୁ ଯାଇକି ତାଙ୍କ ପିଲାକୁ ବି ଦେଖିଥିଲେ ତ ସେଇ
that is
ଆନ୍ସରଟା ବି
work that is work life balance ଆଉ
ଆଜ୍ଞା
ହିଷ୍ଟୋରିକାଲି ବି ଆପଣ ଦେଖିବେ
ସାର୍
right from our Vedic times okay
ସାର୍
Vedas ରେ and Vedic literature ରେ ବି ଏଇ
ସାର୍
ଜିନିଷଟା ଆଜିକାଲି ଯୋଉଟା ଆମେ work life balance କହୁଛୁ okay
ସାର୍
ବହୁତ ଆମର intellectual ladies गरिକା ଥିଲେ for example ऋग्वेदिक period ରେ ଯୋଉ ଆମେ ଲୋପମୁଦ୍ରା କି ଘୋଷ ତାଙ୍କ ବିଷୟରେ ଆମେ ପଢୁଛୁ ତ
ସାର୍
ତାଙ୍କର ସେ ପର୍ସନାଲ ଆମେ ସେଟା ତାଙ୍କର ପବ୍ଲିକ ଲାଇଫ ବିଷୟରେ ପଢୁଛୁ as
ସାର୍
intellectual people but ତାଙ୍କ personal life ରେ ବି okay ସେମାନେ they were quite ମାନେ ଯାହା ଯାହା expectation ଥିଲା ତାକୁ ସେମାନେ exceed କରିଛନ୍ତି ଓକେ ତ ଏମିତି ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ୍ସ ଅଛି ସେ ପିରିୟଡ ରୁ ତ ରାଇଟ ସେଥିରେ and these examples are also given both in this Arthashastra by Kautilya, and
Yes, sir.
even je I don't remember je Ankara Prime Minister thile kara Gupta
New
skara
Zealand, sir.
नहीं नहीं Gupta period ra ये
Yeah.
तो he was the Prime Minister of, or you can say uh, Mauryan Empire ra
Yeah.
तो से भी जो बुकटा लिखी थिले
Sir.
से बुकटा रे भी okay, he has mentioned that many women officials were there at that time
Hmm.
and ସେମାନେ ବହୁତ କାମ କରୁଥିଲେ ତ ଏଟା କିଛି ସାର୍ ଗୋଟେ ନୂଆ ଜିନିଷ ନୁହଁ ଆମର ଭେଦିକ ଲିଟରେଚରରେ ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ ଆନ୍ସିଏଣ୍ଟ ହିଷ୍ଟ୍ରିରେ and if you want you can quote ଦେଖନ୍ତୁ ଆମର କଣ ହଉଛି ଆମେ ଯେ ରେଭେନ୍ସାଙ୍କ କଥା କହୁଛୁ
Sir.
ସେତେବେଳେ there are also women officials okay
Hmm.
women officials ବି ଥିଲେ local women officials ଯୋଉମାନେ ଓଡ଼ିଆ officials ଯୋଉମାନେ କି ବହୁତ ଭଲ କାମ କରିଲେ ସେମିତି ବି ଆପଣ ଦେଇପାରିବେ ଯଦି ଆପଣ ସେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଆଗରୁ ଇଏ ଦବ ବଟ୍ ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ଓନ୍ଲି Vedic ଇଏଟା ଆପଣଙ୍କ that will do the work okay ସେଥିରେ କିଛି ନାହିଁ ଆଉ ରିଅଲ ଲାଇଫ ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ବି ଆପଣ ଯୋଉଟା କହିଲେ କି
Hmm.
ସେଥିରେ ତାର ସାଙ୍ଗରେ ବେଶୀ କିଛି ସମ୍ପର୍କ ନାହିଁ ଗଭର୍ଣ୍ଣମେଣ୍ଟ ବହୁତ ପ୍ରୋଭିଜନ୍ସ କରିଛନ୍ତି ଟୁ ଏନସିଓର ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଏ ଟାଇପ ର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ ନ ହବ ଓକେ ତେଣୁ ଆଇ ଡୋଣ୍ଟ ଥିଙ୍କ ଦ୍ୟାଟ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଗୋଇଂ ଟୁ affect my commitment to my job at the same time it is not also going my job pressure or the requirement of my job is not going to affect the duties of a mother ଦିଟା ଜିନିଷ ମୁଁ ଆରାମରେ କରିପାରିବି
Sir.
okay
Yes.
fine so best wishes
Thank you, sir.
and if you need anything more then just let me know okay
Thank you
okay
so much,
thank
sir.
you namaskar
Namaskar, sir.